Thank you, sir, for your lovely words. Today's chair, Professor U.C. Sarma, sir. Today's program nodal in charge, Professor Laukus Misra, sir, and Professor Manoj Rathod, sir, dear colleagues, and my dear students. I'm very happy and delighted to be here to talk on the G-20, India's presidency. And the topic that you have chosen for the speech competition today, digital growth and it's linking the economic growth. So I will also discuss on, but in brief, I was instructed to point out in very brief, though the topic is very close to me. As a foreign affairs expert, I have been talking on this G20, and especially when the India is going to host this G20 presidency, so it becomes important to understand the different dimensions and trajectory, the navigations of G20. So dear students, first of all, it's a very historic moment for India to host this intergovernmental organization that was established September 1999, and under the backdrop of economic distress. But later on, formally it started as the annual meeting onwards 2008, following the financial crisis. Onwards 2009, it started in terms of the Troika, that today we have. Let us understand what is the Troika. For example, Indonesia, India, and the coming Brazil. That means the previous host countries and the current countries and the upcoming. So we are the host country for the present G20 presidency, and the previous, this presidency has been taken by the Indonesia, Bali, and the next is going to the Brazil. So, but the point is important here that we all are talking about India's G20 presidency, its importance, and as well as a time when the world is fragile. There is a uncertainty. There is a intensity of the war, and the zero-sum game is going on everywhere. And world is polarized as it was polarized before 90s during the Cold War period. We can see the one camp is the US-led Western order, including the EU, and another is a China-led order, including the Russia also. So this is somehow the world that you can see last around it is going to be the 1 year complete of the Russia-Ukraine war. And we have seen this war. Before that, we have seen the COVID pandemic era. So this is the time. The difficulties and the challenges that we have today, and this is the responsibility that India has taken to host this G20 presidency. And during this entire global atmosphere, the global ecosystem, where the post-pandemic transition is going on, economic slowdown is going on. At the same time, we have seen so many war fronts shown, including the Russia-Ukraine war. So India was trying to drive into the camp, and very frankly, India made its position that we are no longer interested to be identified in that camp, this camp, and India categorically position itself as the side of peace. But the question is that what is the slogan of this G20 program? The slogan is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, And this Vasai Kutumbakam slogan is deeply rooted in our civilization, the history. Onwards 1947, we have nurtured this kind of the philosophical doctrine of foreign policy. And in that sense, having enriched by its history and the legacy, India fostered and extended this slogan. The slogan is one earth, one family and one future. When we talk about the one earth, one family and the one future, it is not abstract. It is not rhetoric, my dear friends. India has shown its willingness to project itself as a pragmatic player. As a player who can resolve the existing challenges and as well as who can put forward durable, inclusive, action-oriented solution. And that is why during the Bali summit, when our Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi, when addressed that the core areas of the India G-20 presidency will be action-oriented. It will be green growth. It will be a lifestyle for environment. It will be a women-led order. It will be digital transformation and a digital public infrastructure. It will be sustainable government. It will be inclusive growth. So this is somehow the core theme, and this core theme has been outlined during that Bali summit when India was going to take over this presidency. So this is somehow the core areas. We were not entangled the camp between the Russia-Ukraine war. India has made categorically clear that the India's G-20 presidency is going to project a Bollywood solution for the existing challenges. And that is the point we're all discussing about the challenges. The challenges is the fuel crisis. The challenges is the food crisis. The challenges is the fertilizer crisis. The challenges is the nuclear explorations. So this is all. We all are the challenges. Now the question is, how can we handle it? Yes, as I told you that we have a credential. We have shown our credential that the world was surrounding the global challenges, the global problems like the COVID pandemic. During the pandemic era, India had extended its unflinching support to those countries, not only its neighborhood, not only its external neighborhood, but also Brazil, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Morocco. Around 100 countries were supported by Indian vaccine diplomacy without discrimination. Without any discrimination, India supplied vaccine to all the developing countries. At a time when the anchors of the global order, the liberal global order, including United States and UK, they were talking about America first. They were talking about the vaccine nationalism. They were talking about the protectionism. And India was talking about the solution. India was talking about the relief. India was talking about the humanitarian assistance. India was not concerned. And in that background, let me quote former Brazilian president who quoted that India proved as the Hanuman, as the Sanjeevani beauty from the Brazil. So this is somehow the credential that we have. And on that basis of the credential, we can say that yes, we deserve to give the blueprint for the solution of the global problems, the global challenges. And in that sense, in brief, we can say India has the capability. India has the potential to change these challenges into opportunity. An opportunity in terms of to bridge the voice, the rift and the disruption between the North and the South order. India is willing to represent the global South voice. And when we talk about the global South voice, let me again quote that Prime Minister Modi during the COP26 meeting in Glasgow. When he stated that yes, if we are talking about the climate change and to stop the threat of the climate change, let us take it seriously note. And now outline the 5 principles, the Panch Amrit. India outlined by 2070, we are going to net zero carbon emissions, carbon neutrality by the 2070. And for that, India in 2015 with the company of the France, India starts International Solar Alliances that is headquartered in Gurgaon. So these are the concrete steps. These are the action-oriented plans. These are not abstract. And this is the time when all the multilateral organizations have been miserably failed to give the order, to give the solution to existing challenges. India is the one who is going to give the voice. And the voice is not only for the global south. It is all about the north also. And that is why when India was under the scrutiny of that kind and this kind, in terms of the Russia-Ukraine war, our External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar categorically says, we are not sitting on the fence. We are sitting on the ground. We are entitled to have own choice, to decide and to determine our steps. And my dear friends, this is humanistic interpretation of the India's outlook, India's foreign policy. And in that backdrop, all the developing countries, despite having the limitations of the dividedness, India's have potential to project itself as a global leader. Thank you so much for this.